Hey everyone. So, the first couple weeks of school is now under my belt. I hope everybody out there has had a really good startup. Ours was pretty successful. I want to spend some time today talking about teacher mental health and student mental health. It is such an important topic that doesn't get talked about and discussed nearly enough. So, I'm going to give you my thoughts on it today. As always, leave a comment down below if there's something that you want to add, something you want to ask about for this really important discussion. Let's do it. Quick disclaimer for this video. At the start of this video, I talk very briefly about a period of major depression that I went through in my life with the thought, with some trigger warnings, stuff throughout there stemming from depression. So if that's something that might impact you and affect you, click away, trigger warning. I am a big supporter of the idea of getting things out into the open, things that have stigma attached to them, getting them out of the shadows of your life and talking about them with other people. I went through a pretty serious round of depression. It was during the winter. I was living alone in a basement apartment. I had just started teaching and was overwhelmed and really went through a rough patch. I didn't reach out to anyone at the time. There were people I absolutely could have and should have talked to, but I didn't. I crumbled and curled into myself and had a rough patch. Right to the point of there was a period of time, a couple days, where thoughts of potentially not going on had crossed my mind. It was quite a rough patch. There were a few things that helped me come out of the other side of it. The main thing being my faith, but that's a thing for me. Time helped my situation, and I didn't discuss it with other people, but trying to just spend a little bit more time, even just at the school and working, and trying to just be in the presence of other people. For me, luckily that worked. That brought me back up out of it again, and I haven't experienced anything to that level since. But having experienced it, I really understand what it can do to somebody's mental state and the seriousness of the situation that you're living through. And I want to make sure that as much as possible, things like that get talked about. I do a few things in my life now to help me stay on top of that situation. If it ever arises again, I know much better now who I'll need to talk to, what I'll need to talk about, what I'll need to say. There's some meds that could potentially help in the future. But coming out of that first round some years ago, I really learned a lot that I try to, in a roundabout way, impart those ideas to the students that I have in front of me. What I've started doing with my grade 7 class each year, I do a daily gratitude journal. So I set it up at the start of the year. I explain the benefits of daily gratitude. There's lots of studies and experiences out there of people that practice a daily habit of being grateful for things in their life and experiencing an upswing in their mental state and their mental health. There are some benefits that I've really experienced completing a daily gratitude practice. So I give that habit to my students for a year in their grade 7 year with me. So what I do is at the start of every class, I don't even need to end up saying anything to my grade sevens as the year progresses to right away start class. They know the procedure every class when I have them to start the class, the first 5 minutes of class, we're going to do our daily gratitude journal. So I have the students boot up a blank Google Doc at the start of the year, and that becomes their gratitude journal every day. And I'm part of a wellness challenge group on Facebook with a few people, and I post my daily gratitude in there. I find that helps kind of keep me accountable. I can chat with other people about it. So at the very start of class, I'll greet people at the door usually, and then I will just walk up to my desk and I'll have the Wellness Challenge Facebook page open for the class to see. I display my gratitudes for them every day as I type them out. So I will just sit down at my desk and I'll start typing out the things that I'm grateful for in my life that day. And the students are seeing it happen in real time on the screen as I'm thinking, and I'll stop for a moment and I'm really putting the thought in. And then they know that while I'm doing that, they're booting up their Google Docs, they go right away to it, they put the date in, and they're thinking about 3 things in their life that they're grateful for, and they type those onto their doc while I'm typing mine for the class to see. After it seems like I'm done and it seems like the majority of the students are done thinking about their gratitude for the day, then I'll read mine out and share a little bit of backstory just behind each one really quick, but just to give them kind of an idea of my thought process behind each thing that I'm writing about that day. And then I'll open it up to the students as a volunteer thing. If any student wants to share one gratitude with the class that they're grateful for that day, anybody is able to share. I also tell them that I never see their Google Doc. They don't share that with me ever. That's for them, and that's only for them. If they never want to share a gratitude ever, that's totally fine. So people have the chance in the class to share a gratitude that they're thankful for that day. I ask any EAs or any other adults in the room. They don't have the choice to participate. I ask them, what are they grateful for today? Just so we're all starting the class in that same space. And then when that's done, it usually takes 5-6 minutes, which I think is a really good use of that time. And I am absolutely confident to use those 5 or 6 minutes not working on a new concept from the curriculum right at the start of class. Getting ourselves in a mindset of gratitude and gratefulness is more beneficial to me, I think, to get us all started in that space. So yeah, I would justify that to anybody that comes at me to say, that's 5 minutes, you should be teaching curriculum content. Sure. But I think if we're in a good mindset and we're in a place of gratitude and positivity, the curriculum content I bring in after that 5 or 6 minutes is going to land even better. So yeah, that's just my thoughts there. Feel free to do it at a different time, right at the end of class. You could even obviously, teachers, run a practice for yourself every day. Even if you're not doing it with students, take 5 minutes sometime out of your day, open up a note on your phone, have a journal, handwriting, so that writing it out by hand is super therapeutic as well. Take that 5 minutes to run a practice of gratitude. You will absolutely see the benefits. I tell my grade 7 students a couple key things. Thing number 1 is try not to repeat the same 3 things over and over and over again every day. That takes the thought process out of the practice, and there's no positive benefits to that. I also tell them throughout the year, because I'm not seeing their Google Doc, it's not being shared with anybody, that if they choose throughout the year, sorry for the if they choose throughout the year that they aren't enjoying the gratitude practice anymore, I can't police it. So if they decide that they're going to stop throughout the year, I'm not going to force somebody to continue it. My thought behind the process is I want to introduce the 7s to this habit, give them a chance for the first few months of school, do it with me every day, try it. And then as the year progresses, I find probably about 75 or 80% of the students follow it all the way through to the end of grade 7. I might lose 10 to 20% of the students just to say, okay, that's not for me. And fair enough. You've tried it for a couple months, and I appreciate that. Now just sit back and be nice and quiet and patient while everybody else goes through that quick time. You can read silently while people are doing that. But that's one of the really big things for me that I find just helps my mental state in general. Another good thing for me, and again, I'm not getting into any religious debates with anybody. For me, my faith is a really, really important factor in my mental health as well. You need to find moments in your day, even in the middle of the teaching day, you need to find some moments in your day that you can take a second for yourself. Another quick thing I do, and take this with a grain of salt, do what you think works really well for you. I know coming out of Teachers College, you're taught that at lunch you need to be in the staff room with lots of other people and forming those connections and friendships, and I couldn't agree more. The people that you work with, the staff that you work with, those are the people that you need to form the closest relationships with, because you're all in the same boat together in that building, and you need to foster those relationships. But one thing I found for me over my 12 years in the profession so far, I actually have to take lunch for myself in quiet. I go all morning listening to music students playing their instruments, answering questions, talking for hours. I spend all afternoon doing the same things. I need to have that half hour at lunch if I'm not on any sort of supervision or extracurricular. I need to have that half hour at lunch where I shut the door and I have peace and quiet in my room. I eat lunch in my kind of band room office in the back here, just in this area. Might watch a quick clip of something on YouTube while I'm eating, or might read a little bit while I'm eating. But I find that I need to take that time to just have quiet around me. And I've found for me that's a really refreshing break in the middle of the day. I go out of my way lots of times to try to form those connections with my colleagues in this building in other ways at other times. But I find for me, lunch is that time. That's it's a little bit sacred for me. I have to just have that peace and quiet on my hearing in the middle of the day. So again, that's a practice I've found that has worked for me, but to what you see best with your staff, your atmosphere in the school, your own situation. You need to find some time throughout the day that you can take a moment or two for yourself, whether that's just close your classroom door for a second, have a little bit of peace, put on some music in the morning or at lunch or on a prep, listen to some music, put on a podcast, something where you can kind of shut your mind off a little bit, not have to think, okay, what am I teaching next? What students are coming in? What parents do I have to contact next? You need a little bit of time throughout the day to just stop for a little bit. So important. I couldn't stress it enough. And there's lots of other things for teacher mental health as well. There's services that your benefits will work towards, I hope, for a lot of you out there. Stay connected with your family, spend time with your kids. Make sure that whatever you're going through in a period of time, in a period of your life, please talk about it with somebody, with anybody. Get it out and in the open and get it verbal. Get the help that you might need. I know that's easier said than done, but I'm pulling for you. I'm here. If there's nobody else in your life to talk to, but you want to reach out to somebody here on YouTube that you've never met before, because that might be easier to talk to if can't picture your face, fire me a comment. Let me know, reach out somehow, and I will do the best I can to try to get in touch with you, to try to get you connected with somebody. Even talk to me if you need to. I am here for you. There are people around you that are here for you. Please talk about it. Again, I hope startup went well. I'm doing my best to try and get these videos out in good time, but being in the education world, we know things get busy. If you have any questions or thoughts, leave me a comment, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned to whenever I can get stuff going out here. If you have anything that you want to let me know about teacher mental health, please put it down below. I respond to every comment that I possibly can. I'm here for you. I'm pulling for you. We're all in this together.